So a few snapshots ago, we got these fancy new command blocks, and they are pretty great compared to the old system. It's much more logical, and it easily cuts block updates in half. However, I was pretty disappointed that Mojang didn't do more things to improve command blocks, especially because their biggest issue still stands. Command blocks are not comfortable to use. Anyone who uses them to add new game mechanics to Minecraft would certainly agree. Seriously, people even write syntax interpreters that convert logical instructions into command blocks and command block code, because programming with command blocks is insanely painful, mainly because of the extremely clunky interface. I'm not talking about the quote-unquote programming language for command blocks. You don't really need to change that all that much, because it's fine. I will give you an example of this, and then we'll go into some additional functionality for command blocks, and also severely reduce the clunkiness of handling them. So I converted a very small part of my map into a chain with the new command blocks, which you see over here. And we got a bunch of pistons. So the idea here is you throw 4 clay balls into the middle, press this, and it makes a clay block. Sadly, it doesn't work. I know the logic works because I tested this before. So probably when I set up these command blocks, I made a mistake somewhere. So first of all, I have to find my mistake. First problem is I have to click through every command block to find where my problem is and scroll through all the text. It's like annoying. Why can't we have hover text for command blocks? Like you look at a command block and a command appears while you look at the command block. Maybe reduce it to like, I don't know, 70 symbols per line, maybe, but line breaks. And the line breaks I want because I want a new interface. So I know, by the way, that my mistake is in one of these 2 command blocks, which are very identical, by the way. And the problem is I have to scroll through all this text. Like, it's painful programming in this because it's only 1 line, but it's like severely more painful to read this. Why can't this command block look like this command block instead? We have all this wasted space in the usual command block interface. Why can't it be more like this, where you have like several lines of code with a scroll bar? You can have your code like nicely structured so it's readable by a human without scrolling through 1 line forever. The output line is longer because then it's also really small in the usual interface. Buttons are over here, like these are your usual buttons. Then you have done and cancel. And then we also have a few new buttons. The first button is force pause. You can disable this button and it doesn't pause your game. Like, in case you know command blocks, when you open a command block in single player, it pauses the game. And the only way to prevent that is to open a multiplayer server, which is kinda annoying. Why can't I set this per command block? Would be really nice, because sometimes you want to watch the output if stuff is happening really often in your map and for really short periods of time to debug. And currently you have to open your command block, close your command block, open your command block, close your command block, open your command block, close your command block, and so on. Or you start a multiplayer server. It's like annoying. Then no hover text disables the hover text we just talked about. And down here we have 2 things for debugging. The first one is force output. This will make the command block put command block output even though command block output game rule is set to false. Would be nice to have for certain command blocks if you want to know stuff when it happens. And then we have a breakpoint. This comes from programming debugging. This would be really nice. My idea for this is you click this, and this only works in chained conditional command blocks, by the way. When you click it, the command block doesn't execute its command when it's its turn to execute the command. Instead, it puts like a breakpoint into your chat, and you can click that breakpoint and then it continues. Would be really nice for debugging, just because it would be really nice. So you know where your chain fails, for example. You can find that easily. As I said, it's all part of making command blocks easier to find and making problems easier to find. And making working with command blocks less of a hassle. So you see, it's pretty hard to find like your problems in command blocks at the moment, because of the interface. Anyways, I know what the problem is, because obviously I set this up, because X is unexecuted, it has to be execute, and now it works, right? Yes, it works. It didn't work the first time because the item stack wasn't 4. It didn't stack up yet. Anyways, that's a lot of command blocks for this simple function. Why do I need that many command blocks? Good question. And before we answer that, we will first go into more convenient stuff. because it has something to do with it, kinda. So first of all, when I use entity data, that's correct, right? At E type item, why can't I tap complete data tags? Like why? There's only so many data tags, why can't you tap complete it? I mean, obviously, if I add a data tag that's herb data or whatever, obviously that can't be tab completed, but why can't I tab complete like something normal, like ID, blah, blah, blah. I want to tab complete this. I want to like do stuff fast. Can't tab complete it. Also, entity data again. Why can't I tab complete in target selectors? Like why can't I tab complete through the types? There's only so many types. If you use summon and tab complete, you see on the types. Why can't you use that in target selectors? Like execute at E type lightning bolt. Why can't I tab complete this? Why can't I tab complete score underscore my scoreboard objectives like star underscore max and min? Can't tab complete. Should tab complete and put an equal sign at the end. Would be nice. It's painful writing commands. Speaking of writing commands, you can only put like, I don't know, 120 signs or something in your chat line. Why can't you put an infinite amount of signs in your chat line in like single player mode? Like if I program something in Notepad++ and want to test the command, I have to pop down a command block, because if I paste into this, command is too long. Gets cut off. And I mean, I see the point in multiplayer. You don't want people to write chat messages that are 60,000 symbols long. But in single player, really? Why not? It's like painful. Anyways, tab complete for target selectors, tab complete for data tags would be nice. What also would be really nice, and now we get into reducing the amount of command blocks here. One command block, I only need to tag the items on the ground, because I cannot execute at E type clay balls or something. I have to execute an item. However, item is any item, so I need to tag the item and make sure it's like clay balls. And I have to do that with a scoreboard command. Like I have to set a scoreboard value to the thing, to the item on the ground. Because in scoreboard, or in the command scoreboard, you can check for data tags. But why can't I have data tags in the target selector? Why can't I execute at E type item data tag ID Minecraft? I mean, obviously the syntax would be different, but it's just illustration. Clay balls. Why can't I use that in target selector? I suspect there's a technical reason for that, but it should be relatively easy to implement, I think. I mean, for some weird reason, there's one data tag you can check for, and that's name. You can name whatever, like clay balls. Like when you give an entity a data tag with a name, like an armor stand. You give him a name, you can check for that armor stand by the name, because you can check for the name, but you cannot check for any other data tags. Why not? Would be really nice to have, means we can get rid of at least one command block here. Then these last 4 command blocks are for the eye candy, like the sound and the particle effect, and then killing the clay balls that are on the ground. Why can't I do all of that in one execute command? Like I have to execute, check for the piston heads, and then I set a new scoreboard value to make sure that clay balls should be converted in something, and then I play the particle effect and the sound, and then I kill the clay balls. Why can't I have this execute command, like execute at E type item data tag blah 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 detect piston. We don't follow the syntax here. This is for illustration. So I do this, I detected the piston heads, and now I want to display a sound effect, a particle effect, and destroy the item. So why can't I do play sound blah, and then do an ampersand and particle, blah, ampersand, and why do I need several command blocks for this? Why can't I put this in one command block? Would be way easier, and I don't need to take stuff like several times and change values. And kill at E type item radius 0 to make sure it's the one I now we're at the end of the chat line. But this would be really nice, like an ampersand and, like standard feature in every programming language. And furthermore, so we are down to these two command blocks. Why are there two here? Like if we implemented all these changes into Minecraft. The two are here because I need to check for both cardinal directions. However, so this also works like in this direction. However, while we're at end, why can't we have OR? Why can't I do execute at E? Let's not put stuff in there now. Blah, 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 detect, blah, -1, blah, piston. Or, so we do this, or detect, blah, +1, blah, piston. Would be nice, because then I can do all of this stuff in one command block. And it would be logical, and for me, like other programming language would be nice. Think about it. Please do more changes to command block. At least please update the interface, because this is like painful. Like imagine, I don't know what you use for your Java programming thing environment, but imagine that only had one line and you had to code everything like this, because this is how you code in Minecraft, and that is why no one does it. Like everyone codes in like Notepad++ or something, and then copy pastes in Minecraft. When you have to check for bugs, it's painful. It's really, really painful. Come on, the new command block colors or things, the 10 command blocks, that's a really good start for updating command blocks. Please do more.